Okay, so when we talk about organizing by genre, and if something is more horror or sci-fi, what we used to do in my particular store for movies
Mhm.
was we would go to Amazon and see what
How it was listed.
how it ranked in the genres,
So you go to
and then
Comixology for this?
well, you go to. I mean, I just
You do a
looked up a
Twitter
book on
poll,
Amazon, and it
and then
doesn't have because
Oh,
like I was kind of fearful that if you went on Amazon, and you're like, "What's the name of a book?" and the genre was just going to be graphic novels, but like I just looked up Alienated, and it's sci-fi, so it's
okay.
yeah, well, it's
all
about
right.
an
Alienated is
alien.
sci-fi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. I would take it. I just would. I would do slice of life or supernatural before I would do sci-fi. But I guess that makes sense.
But the problem is again, if you have a thing that's horror or sci-fi, what's so like if I'm in a normal bookstore and I'm looking for horror sci-fi, I go to
Alien.
sci-fi first. Not there.
Sure.
I go to horror.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah,
yeah,
there's that
yeah.
too.
You
And then
find a bunch of fun books along the way.
my friend brought that up as well because hi,
Hey.
because he was like, "Why don't you have this graduated system or whatever, where you get like sci-fi and then sci-fi horror and then horror?" And I was like, "Because that sounds like a nightmare." And
Yeah.
two, you have to trust the customer
It
a little
does.
bit to look at something because they do have back of the book spiels, and so you
Mhm.
read the back of the book spiel and go, "Wow, this sounds scary," or "Wow, this sounds like slice of life," like, or you look at the cover art and hope that it's pray to God it's relevant, like, like, uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I'm
it's
trying to
just
think where that would bite you in the butt real bad.
What
I can't.
cover art?
any superhero comics,
Going by
Superhero
cover.
comics. Superhero
Yeah.
comics.
Silver Age.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
Yeah, that's gonna get you.
anything with a gorilla on it.
And
Not
that
going
do
to
you,
be in the book.
That should
Guerrilla
just be its own
genre.
section. Gorilla cover
do you
comics.
separate
Yes.
by era as well then? Or do you because you can't have back
No.
stock separated from our shop has it where there's like the new
Oh.
release wall and
Yeah,
then there's like
yeah.
the recent release wall and
So I'm
then
definitely
there's
not
the
talking about
racks
floppies and
of re-
backstock.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the
Well, I know, I
trades
know.
and
This is
stuff.
just
But they're
no. I was
Oh,
able
but
to
my
get
shop
it.
my shop will have older trades in the floppy backstock. It's
We
like
have
my shop. Yeah.
We have like a pre-owned trades
I
section,
love how
but like
Oh,
Those
older
those are the
trades,
best.
like if it's like a reprinting of Gold and Silver Age, it's just in with our other stuff. So if it's like Silver Age superhero books, it's just going to go in the superhero genre. But like, think about it though. You have a superhero genre. That means you have Black
Oh.
Hammer, you have Spawn, you got Justice League, you
That's a
got
big genre.
Avengers,
Oh, yeah.
all kind of in that same
all in the
area.
same spot. That's
So when people
interesting.
roll up and they're like, "I like superhero books," I'm like, "Oh, do you like DC or Marvel?" And they're like, "I've never given a shit because I don't read comics." You're like, "Great, there's just all these
Okay.
superhero books right
Here you
here on
go.
this bookshelf. Have fun, enjoy whatever pair of underwear you select." Like,
I like that because they can be like, I'm looking for Batman, and then they're like,
Yeah.
what's this Black Hammer thing?
Wait, what's
it gives,
what's
I think
Batman?
it gives a
Hey,
better
Tyler.
chance for the
I've never heard of
indie.
Batman. What a cool indie
Yeah,
game drop.
that's a really cool idea.
It's this man.
Man
also-
Bat's great.
Yeah.
Comics will break
Uh,
your heart. I actually have my shelves divided by genre right now.
Alphabetized. It's just straight alphabetical, y'all.
DC, Marvel, then alphabetized.
I have big two, but I also have a long box that is completed stuff, like anything that's just like there's nothing more coming out of this, but I want to keep it.
That's not a bookshelf.
That's not a
And then
bookshelf.
I
Not
have
a
two
bookshelf.
short boxes. One short box is big two, that's recent, and it's just like an ever going like
Dad.
cascade of things. Hey, Vern.
All right, I will
My organization is a
Yeah,
nightmare.
we'll take
Collect some
pictures
pictures.
Of
and
our
then
shelf.
we'll put them on the Twitters.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I did
I
have to
have-
kind of break
later,
mine up
later.
a little bit because like I have some books that are just too tall to be on whatever shelf they need to be on. So like um
And then I have my
Well,
like sentimental box that's all stuff from like people that we've interviewed or
Mhm.
stuff that has been sent
Nope,
to me.
That's
I-
not. That's not. Hey,
There you go.
there's-
Nice.
Oh,
there's a
nice.
My
slice.
trade wall is just
very nice.
I have it separated by type, so I have like my hardcovers all in one spot. And
I
then,
did that. It just bothered me too much.
Well, my image hardcovers just look too good, all right next to each other.
Well,
So
well,
those have to be just all lined up.
See, I have those like build your own shelves units, and all of them, all the cubicles are not the same size. So like
Please,
hardcovers
senpai.
won't fit on one level of them. So I have to put all my hardcovers
Cheers.
on the same level, even if they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
That's
stuff
all
like
right.
that.
I really enjoy the fact that were like pointing out sci-fi horror though,
Mhm.
because again, that's the exact thing that my friend did when I was talking to him about this earlier today. But because I, being an avid prose reader, thought you all would be like
I
sci-fi
did that for a
fantasy
minute.
mashup because I
Oh,
see
sure.
yeah, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was just gonna be like, yeah, I cheated on my shelves, and sci-fi fantasy are just on the same shelf. So I didn't
Well, yeah,
have
just
to
Close
make
enough.
them the same thing.
Sci-fi
Like, really, it's the
fantasy is
same
now
category.
one.
Sci-fi is just space fantasy.
It
It's
Right.
is space
It's all
fantasy.
fantasy.
it's fine.
Now, do you have high space or
No.
low space?
It's high space.
Well, I mean, no. Sci-fi isn't space fantasy. Fantasy is magical science.
Oh,
Sure.
fantasy
It's
is
just-
Earth science.
We
Earth
just
side,
don't.
That is
we
a
just don't
field.
understand it. That it's just magic to us.
Well, it means
So yeah, like
thanks,
so it's,
Thor.
Thanks,
Don't do
Thor.
that.
Yeah.
it's the problem of having alphabetical and I want descender and ascender together because it's the same, but it's different.
It's not. Those are
Yeah.
different genres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
They're
And
not alphabetically together
would
or
come
genre
first.
together.
Like
It's a
we could have a
mess.
whole conversation of the change from descender to ascender and how much
Oh,
that
yeah.
like
But
bothered
guess
me at
what?
first and then got over it.
Guess
Yeah,
what? That could be an exception to the rule.
it
And
is
that-
a, it is a
that-
nice
My
way.
OCD will not allow exceptions.
Okay, listen, we got to work on this rigid thinking because I have a coworker who's like, I need everything codified. And I'm like, well, I'm going to codify it for you. And then you're literally going to ask me about each and every person that you work with. And I'm going to say they're all exceptions to the rules. Like everything is, yeah, space opera versus space hip hop.
Nice.
But like, I just don't think it's that too much. Like, I'm not going to, the only genre that I'm going to create, I think, that's different than prose is superheroes as its own genre. Like Spawn and Superman are going to be in the same place. Like, who do I have? I have Enigma, Super Sons,
Really
Black
different.
Hammer. Enigma's about a superhero.
As a Spawn and Superman, they're basically the same book.
They're superheroes.
They are. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
You-
do you put
You're gonna have
anti-heroes
DC versus
in with
vampires.
superheroes?
Yeah,
Is it just
I mean,
it's just capes in
it's
general.
just capes.
Capes.
Just- yeah,
Capes.
The
And
cape
it-
section.
Yeah.
You know,
And when they
I-
stop wearing capes, they can move over.
they go
Yeah.
into sci-fi. and
You
fantasy.
grow
There you
up
go.
and get out of your cape, and you come over here.
I have Lady Killer and Stumptown in the same area. I have it as kind of more like action because they're not fantasy or sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's just
For sure.
Although the mention
like
of
it.
Lady Killer wants me to have female killers as a genre.
that would be
Oh,
that's more of
if
an
there
end
was
cap
enough.
than a genre.
Yeah, that's definitely an end cap.
That is an end cap. I will.
I
Find
wish
it.
it was a
I'll make it
genre.
happen.
I could see going to genre if I get my dream Beauty and the Beast library. Sure.
Mm.
I'll go genre because like that's like the dream. It's all huge and gorgeous. Right now, I've got like 2 bookcases and like there's no advantage to being like
Yeah, they're all
just
sideways.
together if
Yeah.
I'm
Wherever they
alphabetical
fit.
and I know everything I have. If I'm going to a trade, I'm looking for something that I'm already got. So I'm like, I'm gonna look for Sandman. Just go to S, grab.
Yeah.
If I had a bigger
Legit.
collection, genre all day.
Yeah.
I have so many people ask me for genre recs. They're like, what do you like in horror? And I'm like, I look at my shelf and it's alphabetical or by publisher, and I'm like, I can't tell you what's fucking horror right away. Now I have a
That's
horror
fair.
shelf, and I could be like Rachel Rising or Gideon Falls. Like,
Sure.
they're
That's
both
cool.
horror. Like,
I also have exceptions on my shelf
Fake
because
user.
they're like open-ish on the sides, and I don't want them damaged from corners or anything. So I have bigger books on either side with smaller books in the middle to kind of
Sure.
just
Well, plus if
Hold
you
on.
can't fill the shelf, the only like, and you don't have like
Yeah.
bookends, you just put the
Right.
hardcovers, collected
Yeah.
editions there, so they don't fall over.
I have a kettle belt
oh nice.
holding up that bottom part that doesn't have a
hell
fill
yeah.
And when you
Hell
work
yeah.
out, what do you do? Or
in. When I do my
Work
spots,
out.
I go grab my 20-pounder because my 15-pounder is right there.
Workout.
Fair.
Mhm.
Fair.
I do my
Yeah.
squats next to my desk. I have a sit stand desk now. I'm getting healthy. There's a stationary bike right there.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Manga is still its own genre because it's just too
Oh,
much.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the whoa. Categorizing
also-
manga inside of all of that would
No.
no.
Do
No.
it. Cause chaos.
Because
I'll-
Go for
horror
it.
manga is
Go for
different
it.
than normal manga or normal horror.
Yeah, it is such a
It's
wild
different.
ride. It's like
Like I can't go from Hotel and then be like, you know what I want to read now. What's a
Junji
good
Ito.
fo- Yes, that's the same. Let's go.
Let's read Hellbound after reading
Yes.
Beast of Burden. I'm like,
Oh,
definitely the same.
And I'm not sleeping.
Yes. Yes. Never
And I'm all
again.
set.
You have to use them to hold up your mattress. You just use stacks of
Yeah,
comics
there you go.
as your box spring.
And then you have more room on your shelves for covers. There you go.
Yeah, and then when you're
And all your
when you go
figures,
high
all your
that
figures.
you're
Yeah.
touching the ceiling, then you have to
Hmm?
figure something out.
So
Well, then you
comic-
just have to get a lower floor.
Yeah.
Right.
Lower.
Yeah,
Lower
that's
your
easy.
Dig your floor out.
call the floor lowerers. And,
Yeah. Yeah,
Sounds
that
like-
takes
it's
care of
levels, Nick. Levels.
I didn't want to put my Vertigo with DC, and then they started putting DC Vertigo on their spines, and I was like, "Fuck, honor bound to put them together now."
I always did when I was
Wow.
doing when I was
How do
living
you-
that publisher life. I was putting my Vertigo with it because
How do you handle
I would-
your DCYAs? Do you put your DCYAs with your DC, or do you
No.
put them in their separate area?
I put a Y. I have a YA because I think YA is a genre that needs to be
Same.
separated.
Same.
oh no.
Same.
Yeah.
So,
I
this
like
is
that.
why I can't do it. There's two like I would be like, but it's
But they do that in
but it's
bookstores,
DC.
Todd.
Yeah.
but
They
it's
do that in
DC.
bookstores.
Actually,
But
books
it's
my
a
Books a
young
Million
adult.
doesn't.
It has the DC logo on it. Ah,
Go shop at a bookstore. They have a young adult section that has all the same genres
I
as
do.
the adult section.
No,
it's great.
My Books
I
a
got
Million
my-
doesn't. My Books a Million doesn't separate
But-
them. The young adult
but I
graphic
can't
novels
do
are
it.
with.
No, I'm not saying comic
Really?
shops. I'm talking bookstores. Like
No, my
oh
Books
no,
a Million
bookstores
doesn't.
do,
Oh,
of course.
wow.
My
I
bookstore,
just
yeah.
couldn't do it.
Well, I want to
Ours
do
do.
that with bookstores because when people come in and they're like, I want a horror book, I'm like, okay, give me 20 minutes to look like an unprofessional idiot who doesn't know my topic, who has to go look through fucking everybody who's not Image, all
What's
of
horror?
Marvel, all of DC, and then go to Image and look in their books to even see what's fucking in stock. I don't know.
This Moon Knight looks kind of spoopy. This might be this. There you go.
Ghost Rider, it has Ghost in the title.
Yeah,
It's
Ooh,
got
Ghost.
That
you
up.
you just
we
got to
go.
write them on your hand. You have a crib
DC
sheet.
versus vampires. DC versus vacations.
Yes.
Damn.
DC versus Vacations.
But also think
Let's
about
go.
how horrible
yeah.
it is to just have lists of them that I then have to reference when I
Oh,
could
for
just
sure.
literally be like, here's where we have our horror. Take a
Oh
look
no, that's better.
in a book. It's Reading Rainbow. Like, I don't know. I just
I mean, but if we're
Oh.
talking about horror, just give them Gideon Falls and be done with it.
Oh, I
Here,
do have.
Get out of here.
I do have ice cream.
Have you read Gideon Falls? Then go grab that or get out.
Yes.
I-
You what? Ice cream?
I have a box that's all Black Hammer, like everything Black Hammer. So you won't find like Barbalian under B. You'll find it in the Black Hammer box, but it's
which
not
is
organized
also
at
under
all.
B.
I literally just throw. No, it's not under B. It's
No,
under Black
Barbalian-
Hammer box.
But that's
'Cause
a
it will
B.
be someday, but right now it's just a mess.
Oh, for your own collection because it's not.
Yes.
It's all
That's-
on its
yeah.
own, anyways.
And I have all my
there's no
ice
B.
cream man together too.
There is no
So-
B.
there is no
There is no B.
There's
So,
only
question.
Black Hammer.
What category, what genre do we put Crowded in?
Oh,
Our Book
Ooh.
of the Night.
are you saying is this a
Action.
show we're doing?
I think it is.
What show
Aw.
is it, Jamie?
It is Comic Cocktail Hour.
Yay!
That's an intro.
That is
Yeah.
an intro, yeah.
How beautiful. Job well
Oh, I
done.
meant our 15-minute talk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the
what a
warm up, letting
segue.
everyone get in.
Yeah,
get
exactly.
coffee,
I love it.
Get the brain juices flowing with an interesting question.
Juice.
Juice.
So, what was the question? You asked, what was your genre question, Jamie?
What genre would we put Crowded in tonight's book?
Slice of future life.
Action?
I think action or sci-fi.
Action.
Probably action.
Near future dystopia action, yeah.
Comedy.
It's 10 minutes in the future.
It is funny.
Literally 10 minutes in the future.
It is funny at times, yes.
Yeah.
I guess we could let the audience decide after we read a synopsis.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, sorry, I have to go to another screen. Let's see if my eyeballs work. 10 minutes in the future, the world runs on an economy of job shares and apps like Reaper, a platform for legal assassination. When the apparently average Charlie Ellison wakes up one day to find out she's the target of $1 million Reaper campaign, she hires Vita, the lowest rated bodyguard on the Defend app. Now, with all of LA hunting Charlie, she and Vita will have to figure out who wants her dead and why before the campaign's 30 days or their lives are over.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun-dun.
Based on that, I want to know what the audience thinks.
Yeah. Audience.
You have 10 seconds
What
while I go get my
genre is
champagne.
this?
Ah!
Oh,
I'm gonna get another
champagne.
beer too, because this went longer.
Where'd they go?
Champagne and beer.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So
Seems like an action thriller to
Thriller
flash.
to- all right. So action thriller, okay.
Probably right.
Yeah. I can say that.
It's one that I don't think it's like super strong on any like clear one, but it would fit in there and be appropriate.
Yeah.
This is like the least exciting part of this conversation.
If
I feel like it's for me it's very much action comedy in
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
like a black humor kind of way. Because there's
Definitely
no
has
like
some
really
interesting slapstick too.
yeah, there's never any like it doesn't overdo the slapstick, but that you see have like you would see in a lot of comedies, but the humor is there.
Oh
it's close to like the MCU humor type thing, where it like works, but it's like kind of the light moment within, like there's a huge fight scene or car chase or something, and then you get like the one-liner type stuff.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely the snark.
Yeah.
It's got a snark level.
Oh yeah,
It's got a high snark
There's
level.
definite snark there.
They steal a puppy.
They steal a puppy
Yes,
It's
yes, they do.
hilarious.
early on, and it's just called. I think it's what called Dog the entire way
Yeah.
through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then Doug, or is it still just Dog?
It's
But
dog in
that might be
volume
spoiler.
It's
Wow.
What?
Wow. All right, I'm out.
How dare you? We're done. We're done.
I bet.
Well, now I don't have to read it.
Yes, that was it.
I'm just only in to see if the
That's-
dog gets the
It
name.
saves me a Hoopla credit, which, by the way, you can get this on Hoopla for free.
Yeah,
Get
so
all
have
the-
to read.
Yeah.
3
That's how we do it.
volumes on Hoopla.
There we go.
That's assuming you like
Fingers are
volume
still-
1.
That's
There you
also
go.
true.
There.
Or you just read it so I don't hunt you down.
Oh, damn.
Put
Start
you on that
Reaper.
Reaper
Yeah,
campaign.
we'll start a
I'm a good
GoFundMe to
defender.
have you murdered if you don't read this book.
Wow.
Which is what Reaper is. Which
Nick
is also
does not speak on behalf of For Everyone Media.
like, all opinions are our own.
Yes.
Like, I have to say that the idea of a Reaper campaign, though, like, doesn't seem too far fetched.
No.
I just
No.
somebody with money has to just be like, no, it's totally legit, and the criminal system will be like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll make it excuse because you have money, and that's how the criminal like laws work, and then just some liability bullshit, and then you
Yeah.
have to constantly be like, that's what hitmen are. It's just hitmen for the public.
There you go.
I love how the
Probably
premise.
Uber
crowdsourced
Hitman.
Hitman. Yeah.
It's Uber Hitman. There you go.
I love how they bring up the kind of plot point of like Well, the police would obviously stop this, and they're just like, they can't, because just so many people are using it, and it's
And the
just,
police are abusing it. Like,
yeah,
it's
it's
a
like
whole
there's
thing.
nothing they can do about it. It's like, because it was the first thing I thought of, and they're just right away they're like, oh yeah, the cops can't do anything.
They just make it complicated.
That's what I loved is like the police were like, we
bureaucratic.
can't do anything about it, but like we'll make you fill out a bunch of forms
Love
by
that.
hand,
Love that.
Yep.
triplicate, and like most millennials now are just like, fuck. I
Yeah,
can't.
she's
There's
like, I
not
don't
an
wanna
app I
kill
can fill out the
anyone.
paperwork.
What's
Vita
a
is still on
carbon?
it though.
What's a pen? Like what?
Oh. For those
How is
who
this not
don't
an
know,
app?
That's why I got a
these
future
means-
pen.
Ooh, future
It has
pen.
4 inks in it, different colors in it. And so I can do all my paperwork for killing real quick, because when it needs to be in green, I'm all set.
There you go.
Love
there you
it.
go.
See?
I
That's
love
how you do it. That's how you
I
hack
can't
the
believe
future.
we still use carbon copy in our everyday vernacular, but nobody knows because CC on an email, it's carbon
Yep.
copy on an
Oh,
email.
you know, it's just a part of a thing. Yeah.
Which is-
I use it daily, but
Yeah.
Well,
I
there's-
you?
oof.
our rec forms. are
Oh, the
carbon.
rec forms are carbons. That's right. Yeah.
I
That's
also
wild.
like have strong opinions about the carbon copy.
We
And
shouldn't. We
I-
shouldn't,
Go on.
but we do.
have strong opinions. Yeah, like in fucking emails when you
No, we
CC
shouldn't use
somebody. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe. If you CC somebody in an email, it means they don't need a response. So if you have been CC'd in an email, don't fucking respond to the email. Like,
Because you're a CC, not
I
a
didn't know
recipient.
that.
yeah, carbon copy is supposed to be the whole like you're not responsible. You need to be in the loop. BCC means I'm secretly telling you.
Well,
So
hi, check
don't
this
let
out.
anybody know that I'm
Cool.
ratting this person out.
Yep. This
That's
is for
when they-
evidence for later.
Yeah, that's when they've been poisoned. You've walked by and you've been like, "Oops, sorry, I bumped into you," and you've really stabbed them with a poison needle.
You're also supposed to use BCC in education. I'm
that a-
technically supposed to use anytime I email all of my students, I'm supposed to do it through BCC
Is that a
So
FERPA
so
that
thing?
they can't see who's all
Everyone
in.
else.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's a FERPA thing.
FERPA. It's like HIPAA.
Yeah,
but for
BCC
schools.
is what newsletters use so that
Yeah.
they can send it all at once, but you
Mhm.
can't be like, oh, hey, look, I'm going to mess with this Steve guy.
This person's my
also is
friend
on
now.
there. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're a direct recipient, you have to respond or you're responsible in some way. But if you're carbon copied, it's none of your goddamn business.
I'm not. 'cause I
Immediately.
don't
Well, I mean,
check.
it technically is. You just don't have to respond to it.
I love
Like
it.
ask offline rather than responding to all and being like, "Can you give me more context?" Be like, "No, bitch. Make this a meeting. Make this a hallway meeting. This could be a phone call."
But then it's gonna be one of those meetings that just could have easily been an email, too.
I mean, maybe it depends on the field. In my field, that's not the case. But anyway, we're getting into work-related stuff. So crowded.
The
Crowded,
other
yeah.
thing that I loved about Crowded, no, but really, it does one of my favorite things that is pretty. I guess a movie could do it, but they don't. Is when there's a thing in the background and they use the art with the word, like a sink going on, and the water coming out of the sink
Whoosh.
says whoosh.
Yeah.
Kinda,
yeah.
it
Yeah.
has that a lot, and that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite. It's one of my
And
favorites.
it's really, it blends in really well too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I missed a couple. All of a sudden, I
Yeah.
saw like perfume being sprayed. Was psh, and I was like, "Oh no, that means it's been in other places." Shit, I missed it. And I went back, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's like 2 more examples." Shit, I
Yeah,
love that.
it's all
This is
over the
great.
place.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
It very much is like the lettering's there doing its job without covering or like being. It's doing its unseen job
Yeah,
Mhm.
of like the lettering of like good lettering. You don't notice it.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yep.
That's the thing about letterers. If you're
Mhm.
doing a good job, we don't know.
Yep.
yeah. We'll only
Yeah.
notice when you do bad. So
Yeah.
Which is
There
a
are-
damn shame because when you're writing about how amazing a book is, and then you don't mention the letterer, it's like
That's how you
It's
know
a,
they're
it's
doing
a
a good job.
compliment, but
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah.
And the letterer had a lot of work in this book to do.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
There's a lot. Like there's for a quick read, it's a pretty dense quick read. Like
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
like
it's not Bendis dense though. It's Christopher
No.
Sabella dense. So
Yeah, it is
entertaining.
just like Sabella dense. Yeah,
Sebulba.
that's like the perfect. Yeah, it's
Sebulba.
Sebulba
Goddamn.
dense.
Skywalker.
Just
So I don't know if we're going to talk about our feelings on the book or anything. So this is my first time reading Crowded.
And what were your feelings on the book?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I can't.
All right.
I love Vita. I love the
He
art.
loves it? Oh no.
I love Vita. I love the art. I love the premise. There's so much of it. I can't stand Charlie.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just so grating and it hurts me. It's the exact type of person that I cut ties with as soon as I like have interactions with a person like that. So being forced to read 168 pages with this person that I would be like, I would be out of your life so quickly. It like irked me. It ruined the whole book for me because
Who is that? I'm terrible with names. Which one
that's
is that?
the main character,
main
the
character.
pink-haired woman who's got the bounty on her.
Oh yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah,
I was
makes
going out of my head. I'm like, I can't stand this person. I can't stand any of these decisions. Maybe volume 2 and 3 are different, but volume 1, I was like, I would have been done like 30 pages in if it wasn't for us doing this. I stuck it through. It sucks because I love Vita. I love some of these B characters that are in there.
Oh my
It's
God,
super
yeah.
dynamic. It's great. But oh my God, the main character
But
makes
doesn't
me
it
rip
just
my
show
hair
you
out and be done.
how good it is?
Oh, no,
that it's giving
that
you
is
that
great.
much of an emotional response. to
Oh no,
Yeah.
good job.
hating the
It's just
characters.
too much.
But you don't want
Yeah.
I had to shift my focus on the main character. I had to start thinking Vita's the main character.
Me too.
That's
how
honestly what I had to do
through.
because like the entire time I was reading through it, I was just going, fuck, Charlie's just the worst.
Mhm.
The comic makes it very clear about an issue and a half in that like, oh no, there's a good reason people want her dead in a world where you can put out a hit on someone for being a slight jerk to you.
I actually think the writer does that too, where Chris makes Sebulba, makes Vita the main character throughout the rest of it. And like there is payoff and development for Charlie in the future. Not going to spoil the plot points, but she is given a more robust like focus. But Vita does get so much kind of attention and we see the lens through her and we're given so much to empathize with her. We know so much more about her throughout such a majority of the book that she does kind of become the projection character, the character with which we engage with the rest of the world. And I think that's great because she also hates Charlie. So like Chris did good, like because you're like, I hate this character, and Chris is like, bet everyone else does. You did it, like that was the point.
You're in the world now.
Yeah.
The problem was my favorite person in the book was having their life like ruined by this other person, which made me like it made it worse because I was like, all right, V is the main character. This is who I care about. Why you keep hurting the person that I think is amazing? You're the worst.
Yeah.
But it's gorgeous, and the book is great. Like, wow, nailed. They are two separate people, and they are obviously different people. And I love that it's two ladies just killing it, and they are very different. This is not like I think. Chris did a very good job not making it more cliched than I think it could have really leaned into. It would have been easy to.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, the art in this, we recorded for the upcoming Girls at Talk Comics episode. We recorded yesterday, and we were talking about the art of that book. And how its simple cartoon style really lent to the narrative. And I think we talked a little bit about how like YA art always kind of has that simple cartoonish style. This is an example of like the adult cartoony version that makes a story easy to read, easy to follow, but really gives a lot of respect to action scenes where it's not like super saturated like a lot of Kate's books are or like adult books
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're like, I can't tell the difference between White Guy 1 and White Guy 3,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
this one has such distinct character designs and caricatures and stuff like that, and background characters. It's wonderful. It's such like, and so many people I know are like, the art is always so hard to follow, and I'm like, I got you, fam. So this is one of those art's easy to follow books. You can jump into it without being an experienced reader.
The art works really well as being everything you said, much not as saturated as most adult comics are. That makes it very hard. And it also, the action scenes are also very easy to follow because a lot of action comics, I mean, a lot of the mediocre to bad action comics, like the gaps you have to fill between punch A in panel 1 and punch B in panel 3, it's like, how does the geography of that fight scene work? But like
Yeah.
everything's very clear. You have
Yeah.
a very clear sense of the flow of everything as you go throughout this book.
I wonder if Rose Stein or Ted Brandt were like actual choreographers, because it's like you have to fucking learn how your body can actually go places. I've been reading Damian Collini's, I don't, yeah, comics will break your heart. Good job. I've been reading the Follow Me Into Darkness or You Promised Me Darkness.
You Promised Me Darkness, yeah.
Yeah, in the second one, the Follow Me Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Great art, like amazing, like interesting idea. Inconsistent, incoherent choreography.
Yeah.
And that narrative in the scenes, and it's like
it's hard to follow.
Incredibly.
I don't think I finished the first. I have them. I don't think I finished it, and it was always one of those like, this book is so cool. One of these days, I'll be in the mood, and I'll read it and be glad I have it. And it so far has not happened, but
it's really great
tough.
because if it's intense, but it's so crowded where it makes sense. Crowded, on the other hand, they're like, hey, what's up? We have good choreography and a coherent narrative. And you're like, thank you. To their editor. Like,
I think there was one time maybe that I went, did I miss a page and went back? But I probably do that in a trade. Yeah, I wish I was gonna write down what page it was or where it happened, and I didn't. But in a normal trade, that might happen like 3 to 5 times with me. So it's just like, wait, especially if I'm digital, like, ooh, did I like give it an extra swipe or something? Because it does like do the hard reset sometimes. Where it switches scenes and it'll jump in like they're in the middle of a conversation. You don't need to know the beginning. If you just keep going, it's fine. But it threw me off like once.
Does Volume 1 have the like live stream?
Yes.
Killer?
The live stream
douchebag.
I was literally about to say live stream douchebag.
Dave. What's his name?
Yeah.
Was it Dave?
Trevor?
It was Trevor.
Trevor?
It's a slight spoiler for Volume 1, I guess. His real name's Dave.
Oh yeah. That's maybe my favorite character in the book.
But it's mine is Other Assassin.
Other Assassin's great.
Oh, I'm just like, give me your spin-off novel because I'll follow you around and I won't have Charlie involved, and I'm all for it because I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Todd, do I have some spoilers for you for Volume 2 and 3?
If this is what I like, will I be happy? I'm fine. I figured I would ask you outside of this for light spoilers to know if I could. Yeah. Now that I've committed to 160 pages, I feel like I should at least see if I should push through.
No, definitely. Okay, yeah, we can take that offline unless the chat's like, spoil me, daddy. No, but
God damn it.
So the Trevor guy, right?
Where's my notebook?
Spoil me, daddy sticker.
Spoil me, daddy. Yep.
That entire bit where he's setting up the kill for them was so fucking good. The like automated cars and like all the fans who are like, yeah, we're in these cars and pinning them and stuff. I loved how ostentatious that was.
Did you turn on the return home function?
Yes.
What?
No.
And like him watch, like his dialogue is it slowly went to crap. He's like, all right,
Oh
so
my
go home. Oh wait, oh that wasn't supposed to happen. What?
Yeah, yeah, and the way that they got under his skin of like, "Oh, yeah, you're not really doing it, are you?"
Yeah.
Like, these weren't really your plans, were they?
Get it?
I get it. I love that entire arc for him. Did volume 1 have the kids?
There's no kids.
Okay.
All right, the kids
Wait, are you talking
all
about like
right?
the kids who got them the lists?
Oh, those kids, like
the
the
techie
D and D,
kids.
the tech kids.
Yeah.
They did have them. Yes.
They are my favorite character.
I was ready for kid assassins.
Oh,
Like so I was in like assassin mode, and I was like, "There's no kid assassins."
Nah.
Creepiest assassins possible.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm talking about the nerd kids. The nerd kids.
Yeah,
are
no, the
Nerd kids are
there.
great.
Yeah.
The mansplainers in the beginning.
Oh, that was a good section.
It was because it's
The
great
whole time,
because
it's like I know this,
which is perfect
I got
because
this.
like we
But
needed
we
it
did.
as a reader.
yeah.
Yeah, and Chris did a good job being like, I'm gonna do a lot of exposition to tell them, give them a what's up, and I'll just make them look like assholes.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a perfect way to do it.
And then she has to pick up her comics. I
Yes.
love that where she's
So
they're like, did you want your
yeah.
file? Did you like the illustration of Vita's face, like
But it was because she was caring about Charlie calling her a nerd, and that made me hate Charlie more. It's like, you're making Vita feel like she can't pick up her comics. Fuck you.
So I want to
kill her for that.
give a small spoiler about the kids. They show up in volume 3 for like the final climax of the book.
Sure.
And like as they're preparing for it, they pull an all-nighter, like a rager,
Yeah.
but like middle school style. So or
Awesome.
high school, and it's
Mountain
all
Dew
like
Cheetos.
Mountain Dew and pizza, and they all
Yeah.
like pass out outside by the pool, and they're like,
Yep.
"Oh no, we have to go!" And then they're like, "Mom, take us to the comic shop." And she's like, have fun, sweeties. You know, and it's just like the best thing. I loved it so much because like one of them, the daughter of the mom, she's got like a cigarette. She's like, "Yeah, whatever, mom," and all moody, and I'm like, "I fucking love you. I love you, nerd, you angry nerd, you
And,
spoiled
like,
little rat." Like
that comes around to the point I wanted to make that I really love about the book is that it does a really good job of like poking fun of modern things, like the fact that there's an app for killing people and there's an app for defending people, and the fact that
Oh.
Charlie's job is like 12 different gig jobs in apps. And like, but it doesn't, but like
on her
the
phone
book,
the entire time.
and
like
then you
that.
have mansplaining and these kids,
Mhm.
but it doesn't bash you over the head. It like it pokes and then it's done, and it gets back to the
Yeah.
main story, which I
It,
really
like,
appreciated.
points out the surrealism about those
Mhm.
things and like the uncomfortable bits about those things
Mhm.
without, like you were saying, bashing you over the head with the like about the negative impacts of the gig economy
Mhm.
or the
Mhm.
implications of the gig economy, or what does it really mean to crowd fund things as an ethical sense of like getting a message across or like its impact on other people, and you know the anonymity and also the meme culture around like when something goes viral, you give into it because you give into it. But what does that say about people when they're giving into a viral fund to kill a stranger? And so
Yeah.
that dehumanization aspect of it, like Chris and the team really just kind of balance that line where like a lot of them are truly like, this is kind of fucked up. And at the same time, no one can critically talk about it because they're so like overwhelmed by the reality that Charlie's being hunted down, or like, you know, they're making fun of Vita for having a low score, but Vita is also the most successful. She's just not customer service friendly. So she's got like, it's like when somebody comments on a delivery app, they're like, well, my food was cold. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's a delivery app, not the restaurant you're like, or like,
Do you live an hour away?
It's like you wanted the 45-minute away option.
this isn't
That's how-
Pizza Hut where they have the warming boxes. Like,
What's up, Sam the King?
Or I've seen people complain, like I think I saw one on Reddit the other day of like, am I right for complaining that people say thank you coming, like people aren't saying thank you for shopping here at the store? It's like, how spoiled are you exactly with this
Yeah.
shit?
Why does that matter?
yeah.
I loved one of my favorite parts in the comic was in relation to that, where there was somebody who needed to be motivated, who had a superior in a car, and the best motivation was, I'll give you health insurance. insurance, and it was like whispered in their ear, like it was like I'm gonna go like fuck you, but it was just I'll give you health insurance, and it's let's fucking go, like health insurance, yeah, like it's amazing, and I was like, oh, that is way too real, like.
Yep.
Hey, employer, thanks for giving me health insurance.
And make it sexy.
Yeah.
His name is Trotter.
Trotter.
Yeah, that's the name.
Okay.
I had to look it up because I'm like, I know
his real name's Dave. He's a douche.
I love him because he's like the influencer thing, and he like has aspirations of like, this is going to be a launching pad for me for the next thing, and the people around him are like, no.
This is what you do.
You're not going to be like an actor, or
you're murdering people.
Yeah, you're murdering people for money. Like,
and all the plans that they show that he pulled off, there's no way. It's shown later that there's no way he actually did it.
Nope.
Yeah. I love that about that too, because it's like all these people who have, I think it was some like BuzzFeed article or some shit where they're talking about the behind the scenes for all the pictures you love. And it's, somebody who's doing like dynamic fit photo, and they have like their phone up and shit. And the behind the scenes is there's somebody else taking that picture of them. It's like everything is so staged, and there is a crew to keep it going. And like, that's the way that everything is like really well done. Like, I love that about him so much, and his like crumbling loss of faith in himself, because he's like, no, I am good, and everyone's like, you haven't done anything on your own, like ever.
Not really.
Yeah. No, he was really interesting, and the fact that he fucked it up so hard as soon as he went solo, like, you should. Anyway, life lesson of that: always listen to your assistant. Like, just as a general.
Which not assistant, boss?
Whatever.
She owned most of it.
The admin, whoever is in charge of admin in your area.
There you go.
Is who you should fear.
Are there free admins in my area?
Are there free hot admins?
They want you.
Looking to assist you.
Looking for someone who doesn't have their life together.
You look fucked up. Let me help you.
Hey, you look like somebody who can sell a product where I'm really the mastermind. How about we team up, baby? Like,
ooh, thank you.
And also, just as a note, I can't be that person, either of those people. I ride solo. I'm the Vita of the world. Just bitter and effective.
With your 1.4 rating.
With my 1.4 rating. Nobody dies. Ain't done comfortably though. I lock you in a room for 30 days and don't let you get out. Like,
I love that her rating. It was at one point pointed out that like she gets a 1.4 rating because she's not flashy.
Yes, no.
Like, when people hire her, they want her to kill the people coming out of them. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that live because there's paperwork.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is so fucking true. So fucking true.
Totally what's all about like consumer culture. Also, it's like, yo, I want you to like kiss my ass. Even like,
I'm your boss.
Don't just do a good job.
The customer's always right. Give it
we totally say that's a Karen thing, but you see it with millennials and Gen Z too. I always love it when somebody comes in like, and there's that particular smile where they're like, I always get what I want. And I really just want you to find this product for me. And I'm like, it's behind you, babe. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just all there, and it's like, if it's not, and I do this too, so I could make fun of it, but like when something's not a perfect UI, I'm like, this website shit because it looks like it was built in GeoCities. It gives me exactly what I want, but it doesn't look pretty. It's like, I can shut the fuck up. I'm getting what I want. Like, I don't care. Like,
unlike foreveryone.media.com, which is
a gorgeous site.
It is gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
thank you, God. Pretty cool. Squarespace, but thank you, Todd.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort, just like For Everyone Media.
There we go. Hell yeah.
Connecting to the dots. So does anybody want to hear about Christopher Sabella, Ro Stein, or Ted Brandt?
I would love to, but I have to relieve myself. I have to go pay my debts. So
I have to wait for you?
No, but you should
can
do
watch it later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
I'll
good.
get it on replay.
There you go. Watch it in post. Edit it out in post. So folks watching in the chat, if you're still there, hi. I'm so glad you're enduring us for this long. Let me tell you about Christopher Sabella. Christopher Sabella is a two-time Eisner-nominated writer, designer, and publisher living and dying in Portland, Oregon. He's the co-creator of Crowded, Shanghai Red, High Crimes, House Amok, Heartthrob, We Come Back, but it's Welcome Back. The L is in parentheses. Dead Letters, Short Order Crooks, and The Death Defying. He also writes things in other people's sandboxes sometimes. He is catnip for weirdos, father to a blockheaded dog named Zola. Love pictures of Zola on Twitter, by the way. Drinks toxic amounts of coffee, watches found footage horror movies, and sure loves writing about himself in the third person. I love it.
There you go.
That's like Zdarsky level bio, self-bio.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Rose Stein is a comics penciler who first started working on the acclaimed series Princeless alongside partner Ted Brandt. The pair has gone on to work for Marvel on issues of The Unstoppable Wasp and The Mighty Captain Marvel, as well as other titles. They are best known for their current project, Crowded. Ted Brandt. Dun, dun, dun. Ted Brandt is also somebody you should follow on Twitter or other social medias where Ted Brandt can be found. Ted Brandt. Wow, what? Ted Brandt got his start in comics on the acclaimed series Princeless, working with his partner Rose Stein. Okay, it's the same thing as Rose Stein's, but from his perspective. So,
just flip it.
Are they the same person?
Well, they're partners. So.
They kind of are. What is that statistic about, like, how long you have to hang out with somebody before you start adopting their personality traits?
For me, it's like an hour.
Oh,
I chameleon very well.
How long
it's a survival tactic
you adopt that I learned when I was younger. Personality traits. I put in how long does it take to adopt, and it was like children. Like, no.
How many do you want?
Please take them. Please take them. You know what? I used the wrong Google buzzwords because it was like how to develop new habits, finding your true self, changing your personality. And I'm like, I don't want this.
I don't want this. My personality's okay as it is.
I'm mediocre already. Don't let me change it. I can't do new things good.
No.
Yeah. So, are we just gonna awkwardly kind of like chill until?
Well, I mean, what were your thoughts when you first read it? What were your feelings on it? We heard Todd's disdain. Aaron, what do you think?
I didn't really like Charlie.
Yeah.
I kind of also, when I read it, I was like, wow, she's a bitch. She just started it herself to see who her friends were. That's legit what my first thoughts were.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it was really like, I think she did this to herself. And then I was like, poor Vita.
Yeah.
Poor Vita.
I mean, there was a moment there when there was, I think Charlie was in this bisexual strip club, which awesome. As a concept where she's watching the video of all the people who were like, yeah, I donated, she sucks. And like there is a moment where it's like you can start to see the wheels turning in her head of like, maybe I'm the terrible person here.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see the seeds starting to get planted.
It is such a wild ride later.
Yeah.
Like such a wild ride of like that process and that growth for her. Like as it goes on. The only spoiler I'm going to share is that they go to Oklahoma City, and it's the gay capital of the United States, because everyone moves from like the coasts to Oklahoma City, and so it becomes Oklahoma. And I was just like,
Oklahoma.
This is the best thing in the world. I actually have no, I'm not going to say that. No, but it's like Yeah, Oklahoma City's the gay capital of the world in volume 2.
Like, that's
I've,
not true.
I've seen that. I've seen that panel making the rounds when people have talked about reading crowded. So like, that's not
Yeah.
that big of a spoiler. But yeah, I'm like, I can't wait.
I
Like, that's
love it.
honestly one reason I'm keeping with it is like I want to get to the Oklahoma part.
Yes, I.
That's out of context. You
I
never
like-
hear
Welcome
that.
back, Todd.
All I'm
Oklahoma.
hearing is the musical Oklahoma, like the but
Oklahoma.
Featuring the beautiful
Oklahoma.
lands of California. Oklahoma, where the wind comes swiping the winds and
I
the
don't know
waving
what
wheat.
the
It
other
sure
words are
smells
being changed to, where it's not really offensive, but
Wind comes
just why
swiping
it's-
the rain. Now we belong to this land. Okay, I'm done. They've been
Aw.
waiting for you, Todd. I kind of spiraled out of control.
we're all moving to Oklahoma.
I'm supposed to stop that?
I don't
Like when we rudderless without you, Todd.
Uh-oh.
look when girls talk comics.
That's
When we
not good.
record, this is about stopping time, so I'm a little like, oh no.
Oh,
Like,
sure. Yeah, you're at the tail end. That gets edited out right now.
yeah, like somebody else
This
who's
is
not
really
me
sad.
goes, wow, this shouldn't be captured for future.
Yeah, that's why Burrito talks for like 5 minutes max at most. Because if we talk for 50 minutes about something, it just falls apart.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
So yeah, we heard my thoughts. I liked it.
Okay.
Nick, I'm gonna popcorn to you, buddy.
I liked it. I did not finish volume 1. But I ran out of time. I just ran out of time. It was a crazy week. A lot of shit got thrown in the air and has not even come close to hitting the ground yet. So trying to deal with all that. But I loved what I've read so far, and I will probably get volume 2 and keep going with it because I did really like it. It reads well, and I like characters that I don't like, so like this kind of book works for me. I know, but I like I'm like, give me another one because I want to hate this person more. It's like a safe outlet, right? It's a guilt-free outlet because I can hate this person, but I don't actually hate a person. So
Okay.
it works a little bit.
You hate what this person represents,
Right.
the archetype of this
Yeah.
person, the metaphor, a
Yeah.
fictional. Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Okay, I like that. I like also your honesty of like, I hate this person and I want to hate follow them, so I'm gonna keep reading the book.
Yeah.
I like it because
Like-
damn, Charlie does suck as a human being.
Yeah,
And
no.
Jamie, popcorning to you.
So like for me, reading Charlie, like Vita. For me, I got through it because Vita is now my main character. Like that's who I'm watching, and it's kind of like it's like Vita is the disaster thing in the Roland Emmerich movie that is Crowded, and I'm just sort of watching how Vita survives it all, and maybe Charlie gets better, and at least if she's a terrible person, there's room for her to grow. And I want to see, and like that's why I'm intrigued by it. I'm like, why am I still reading about this person? Why am I still caring about them? Is there more? Is there some development for her? Because we all know human disasters in our lives, and we're oftentimes like, please let them get it together. Like we're not hanging out with them, but like we see them on Facebook or Twitter, like please let you get your shit together. Please.
We're awake at 2 in the afternoon and
you.
think about them and go, I hope they figured it out.
Or
And then you move on.
You see them on your Twitter, you see them on your feed, and you're just like, please tell me this is when you finally get your shit together. Like, please let this multi-level marketing scheme be the one for you.
Rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom.
Like I'm like, where's your 3-paragraph long realization that you're an asshole and you're going to turn it live around? Like,
oh my god.
give me that, Charlie.
Screenshots from the
I think
app.
I could add. I feel like I was reading with Vita as the protagonist. I just think I was reading it that way. I never really considered.
She is the only one who's doing anything in the story.
To be fair,
Well, that's not true. Charlie does stuff all the time.
She just
I mean,
fucked
Charlie
it up.
obviously
It's
is
all
up
fucked.
front and center,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
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 I
So-
always was reading
yeah.
it as Vita's version, and she's just fucking it up all the time. Like
Yeah.
every
Charlie
chance
was the
she.
antagonist
Why
in
would you
her
use your
life.
phone? Why would you do that? Like
Yeah.
the
That's
first
the other
time.
problem is
Like just the
stupid shit too.
Or like why go to why go to a club to attack someone?
Yep. Why
That-
run away?
well,
Why
people are
escape?
trying
Why
to kill you.
and then blame and then oh my god, and then blame Vita for so much. Oh my god, maybe I just have had too much toxicity, but like I get what you're saying, Nick. I watch Survivor. I
Yeah.
love to hate people. I live to hate. And I'm ready, I'm always ready to like internally just enjoy someone be an asshat. I love reality
too. And one of
television,
my
all
least
of those
favorite
things. But this book was just the wrong like it was the wrong parts. Like when you're putting a really shitty person together, where it's like a little narcissism, a little like self-destruction, a little bit like attention seeker. It's all the wrong parts for me to enjoy the hate. But every other part of the book is fantastic. So like most likely I'd feel safe recommending this to anybody because it's so well done. It's so well put together.
I loved. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say I will admit something that I don't want to admit, and then you cut me off, and it was or at the same time, so then I don't have to. But Charlie, right, is drawn very curvy, and I like that.
All right.
Fair enough. Yeah.
She gets a
has-
pass.
Sure. I wouldn't give her a pass, but it helps.
You know,
Okay.
The girls always get in their way.
Vita is
Curvy-
my kind of
curvy
woman,
redheads.
so I
I
get
don't
it.
know.
I get it.
When Vita, the whole story of Vita in the house, that's
I
when I was
couldn't-
sold on Vita. Where it was like Vita was
Sure.
like she
Uh-huh.
just kept the house going because it was the old ladies fuck you to the real estate developers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Inherited
Oh
fucks.
yeah, Vita. Inherited
Like
fucks.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad because Charlie makes her like she loses the house because
Oh
of Charlie.
my god.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So pissed.
Why can it never be curvy blondes as somebody who's a chubby blonde? But that's another thing that I'm going to keep in my head.
It could be. It could be. And I would read that book as well.
Okay.
Is it never curvy blondes?
Well, it's all, I always feel like when people talk about curvy, they always say like curvy brunettes or curvy redheads because blondes like we're gone out of style, which is fine. I'm tired of blonde jokes.
I'm not. Sorry. This is too much. My brain is great.
That's wonderful.
I was day drinking a bunch of champagne, y'all.
That was great.
All good. All good.
I'm here.
All good.
Yeah, if you want to recolor volume 2, I'll still read it if she's blonde.
Okay.
It's the curvy part that got
It's
it.
the curvy part. It has nothing to do with the hair.
Because that hair is also an unrealistic color.
Yes.
Unrealistic body standards for women. Ted and Roe. What the fuck? No, I'm kidding. Things I'll never actually say.
I don't. Yes, it's another rabbit trail. I don't know what a rabbit trail is. I thought that was the part. Never mind.
Is that a happy trail?
That's a
Yeah,
happy.
oh yeah,
It's a happy
the
trail.
bunny trail.
Rabbit trail is an off-topic thing, I think.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, rabbit hole.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I
There
like
you
it.
go.
Goose
Rabbit
hole.
something.
Goose trail.
Yeah. Something a rabbit does.
Goose hole.
There you go. So like, question.
Sorry, Todd.
No, go ahead, Todd. What? Did I do something?
No,
No.
It was Aaron.
No,
Oh,
Aaron's
what?
still just thinking she can edit things out later.
Shit.
This is live. We're doing it
in-
live, Napsy.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. All right.
Yes, Jamie. Continue, please. It was
Okay, sorry.
good.
Sorry. I had to
No,
like.
you're good.
So customer comes in. What do they tell you? Like, what do they look for? Like, customer comes in, asks you, "I'm looking for X." What is that X that makes you go, I'll give them crowded? Like, who is this? Who would this book be for? Like a newcomer? Like, what kind of newcomer would this book be good for?
I'm looking for something gay.
Okay. Why?
Okay.
Why'd you go with gay?
Because I've read the entire all 3 books.
Why'd you go with gay?
Thanks.
Sorry.
Spoilers.
I have to
Why'd you go with gay? There we go.
Why'd you go with gay?
Go with
That's
gay.
that's a sticker.
Go
for
with
sure.
gay.
Go.
Go with gay and why'd you go with gay are both stickers.
We got Pride Month coming up.
The
Yeah.
second one gets stickered just over the other one.
Once you go gay, you can never go back.
Let's see. I'm looking for X and you say crowded. I don't know.
Probably something fun and actiony, They're like, I want something silly.
Hmm.
Like, because
Strong female lead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Where I'm at, it does feel like people come in and they're like, I want queer representation in my books. Like, we get that specific need a lot in my store. And I'm like, do you want people who are sad or do you want people who have fun? And
But
Do you want sad queer
we got
representation?
gay or
first
happy
one.
gay?
yeah, would
And a
you-
lot more of the other one.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
lot more sad.
so much more sad. So when people are like, I
Oh.
just wish something was gay and fun, I'd be like, crowded.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
I got you. I got you.
Would I
Nice.
recommend this to read to dad? I would recommend it to fathers. Yes. Vern, I don't know.
He's
you.
saying, would I, knowing my father, recommend Crowded? No. But mostly because I wouldn't recommend this book after how I felt. So my recommendation is
So you would not
Nah.
recommend it at all, Todd?
I just wouldn't recommend it. I would move on because I have things that I liked more than this that could like suffice for gay. If that was what the recommendation was, I would be like, there's this really awesome graphic novel for young adults, but it's called Galaxy's Prettiest Star. If you want something gay and you haven't read it, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Like that's the one.
And if you're still not sure, read a review on here.
Yeah.
Reviews over at Five
Yes.
Media.
Yeah.
Todd, what if someone was like, I want a book with strong female leads that's light, and I also like hitman type stuff, like
gonna get too
assassin type
specific.
things, with curvy redheads in it. Would you recommend it then?
There's a Black Widow run that I could recommend.
It's a Black Widow, right?
You just described Black Widow.
Yes. Thank you for saying redhead. It made it too
Crowded
simple.
or Black Widow? Is
There you go.
Yeah, those are the two.
That's the redhead dichotomy. Crowded.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Yep.
go. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably also recommend it to the new reader who had maybe started with Snot Girl or like enjoyed Snot, Snot Girl. I'd probably put it in that because aesthetically, I think they're kind of similar. I think it's a nice way to segue young adult into like maybe more adult kind of era. Like it's an easy transition out of your preteen to teen and adult reading.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd put it if somebody was like comedic bodyguard, buddy cop kind of stuff, I'd put it in that kind of genre, like in cap as well of like
Yeah,
One
it definitely has that
love,
buddy
the other
action
one's really
film.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great buddy cop is a really good way to put it. But it's like incompetent, like it's the veteran stuck with the rookie,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
like
It's like
scenario.
the hot fuzz of
Yes.
assassin bodyguards.
Yes. Yes.
It's the queer hot fuzz we've all been looking for.
Yes.
There you go.
The hot
you go.
fuzz. A little bit of hanky panky.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
A
go.
little bit.
Oh, the hanky
A little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a really good question
Yeah.
for who would I like recommend this to.
Yeah, that was great.
Would you put it down as like a book you would recommend? Someone says, I want to get into comics. Would this make your list? Todd is shaking his very violently no.
It would
To
not
get
be
into
one of the. It would
comics?
not be like one of the first books. Like when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm getting into what should." It wouldn't be like in my top.
It'd be like a tier
20.
2, I think,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a phase 2.
To me, it's one of those books that you almost recommend to someone who's probably already into comics and hasn't, like myself, who's been reading for a few years and like, oh, have you heard of, they mentioned they like something and you should check out Crowded.
Frankly, okay, I'm going to expand on my answer a little bit because I think it is a book that anybody could enter into the art form of graphic novels with because it doesn't require an extensive back knowledge. Again, the art's easy to follow. The lettering is good enough that you can read it really easily. I don't think I'd recommend it to somebody who I'm trying to also convince that comics and graphic novels are a serious art form. Like, you know,
Right.
if somebody still doesn't understand stylistically why somebody would read comics or enjoy them, that would not be my, this would not be my, like, here's the epitome of the genre, you know,
Right.
the
It
art.
doesn't push the genre in any.
Yeah, it doesn't, I think, really kind of solidify what it could do. But it is a really fun book. So if somebody is like, I read just kind of whatever, I really enjoy fun things. I like a little bit of anime, I like a little bit of manga, I'd be like, I could give you Crowded. But as like a first Western kind of comic book, but it also depends if somebody's open to it. If they're like, yeah, I read Captain Underpants when I was a kid, I'd be like, okay, let's do this. Like whatever the hell, you know?
That's good.
But if it's for somebody who's like, I've never read a comic and I don't understand why people enjoy them as an art form, it's not, unless this is their bread and butter.
Exactly this book. Because I don't know how I give this to somebody who's new to the genre over like, here's Saga, here's Wicked and Divine. Like, I don't know how I don't give those books to them first to be like, here's the hotness. If this doesn't strike, like, I wouldn't be like, this is my one shot with this noob. I need to get him into the genre. And it's like Crowded.
I will say the one thing it does have, and like blasphemous to say, the one thing it does have over Saga and Wicked and Divine, I still wouldn't put it on the list, is that it's much shorter.
Oh, 100%.
And like, if I have someone going, hey, what's a comic book I didn't get into, but I don't want to commit to 50 fucking issues or like 9 volumes, because like Saga's 9 volumes, Wicked and Divine's 9 volumes. Because I did have someone honestly ask me like, what are some comics I can get into that aren't super huge, massive commitments? And I was aiming for that like 2 to 3 volume thing. And maybe I would give this as a book, but I'm still not saying this would be my top 5. It still wouldn't be my top 5, but it would be something to consider.
I'd have Middle West over that in that.
Oh yeah, Middle West definitely. God Country over it.
Money Shot over this.
Money Shot.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
Money Shot definitely over this.
Reading it.
I still enjoyed it.
But this would be great if they said those books and you're like, what do you want to read? Like, I want something to go farther in. This would be, like you said, Aaron, tier 2, where it's like, here's a good rec for like once you've gotten through that chaff. Like, here's something else.
Yeah. And I compared it to Snot Girl earlier. I think Snot Girl is a tier 1 when people want kind of the slice of life drama stuff. If they like, I've read webtoons and stuff, like free stuff online, I'd be like, Snot Girl. And then Crowded would come up to that. If somebody's like, I want something really funny and action packed, I'd be like, Money Shot, and then Crowded. You know, it's just like,
it's the next one.
Yeah.
I think it would also be a good palate cleanser. Ooh, like if I've been reading horror comics for 2 months and I need a palate cleanser. Like if someone came to me, I was like, oh, man, I've been reading nothing. I just finished Gideon Falls and I really need something not black and red to help me out. I'd be like, Crowded. It has other colors.
Yeah, and it has other colors. That's a great pull quote.
Love it. Love it. Come to For Everyone Media for a really robust review.
It has other colors.
It is a really interesting story, though. At dinner tonight, I was talking to my wife about the book, and I just kind of, she's not going to read the comic anyway, so it's very spoilery. This is the stuff that happened, and she was pretty interested in the concept of it, and being the near future and having these apps that have, changed the way that our world operates. And so I think it would be a phenomenal TV show.
Yeah.
It really would, with each episode being a new place that they're hiding or trying to get away from. It would, at least as far as I've read so far, it would section up pretty well.
It could be a 6 to 8 episode mini series, like mini season type thing, and all that. Could be fun.
I just had a thought though. If I was going to be thinking, if someone said like that near future kind of poking fun at like modern society, but also in a kind of near future setting, I would think also Bubble. I put Bubble probably slightly above this.
Yeah.
Bubble is based off a podcast, Nick, and it was adapted into a graphic novel from, I think, First Second Books. The same folks have been doing the Adventure Zone ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is
it's like
really
a monster hunting
funny
app.
too.
One. Like that's the app. Is it's a monster hunting one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, it's a really good one as well. It totally has the McElroy brothers in it, like as a horrific monster they merge into, like at a trivia game. It's so funny.
It could also work as one awesome episode of Black Mirror.
I was actually good at when you were bringing up the TV show idea. I was like, this could be the funny Black Mirror, the American Black Mirror. Like,
yes.
Yes. That would be not bad. I don't know. It's just got a lot of going for it. But I do think it's a solidly like second tier recommendation book for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Cool.
But that's still high praise. So
yeah. Yeah. Considering how much you read, and how much we all read, So
if something gets on our second list, that's a new list that we should make. Is what's your second tier recommendation? You got
what's your
people
B?
to read, but like. Also, my friend is getting into comics more because of Adventure Zone and Heartstopper. Like, people come in through such weird.
I love that.
Ways.
Yeah, it's great.
So you never know. Crowded can be what gets people in. You know, it's like cool. That's just not my first one I'd go to.
I mean, they're absolutely Crowded is someone's favorite book. It's someone's favorite book.
Oh yeah,
it's good enough to be someone's favorite for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone out there owns all the covers and multiple versions, and
that's the magic of comics. That's the magic of comics. It's like every book is someone's favorite, and that's awesome. Everyone has a gateway comic, and it's different. Yep. That's fucking cool.
Beautiful.
It is cool.
Yeah.
That means never give up, never surrender. Comics could be for you too.
I was gonna make a Galaxy Quest reference sometime earlier, but we buzzed past it.
Oh no!
And I love that you ended up going with a Galaxy Quest quote. That's my favorite thing. That was great.
Still need to see that.
Oh, it's so good.
Let's all watch it together right now.
Yeah, let's go. All right, we gotta wrap this up so we can watch Galaxy Quest.
That should be one of our.
I have it on Blu-ray and like DVD. I've bought it and I'm waiting for a 4K version of that movie. I love that movie.
My favorite line in that movie is just.
Amazing. I know
that is on brand for you. That's so on brand.
It's great.
Did y'all ever watch Universal Soldier?
On Paramount Plus.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Universal Soldier. My favorite line from that is, "Oh shit," as he jumps off a roof and misses.
Yeah. Yep.
And
oh shit.
In the Cowboy Bebop movie, my favorite line for that one is, "And you take too long to take a shit."
Yes.
So, you know, it's the really kind of knockoff unimportant lines.
So. Yeah, it's those like throwaways that end up like hitting real good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That explains my sense of humor to anybody.
It does.
Oh, good.
In a good way.
I'm a messed up human. Anyway.
So any final thoughts we want to get out?
It's on Hoopla, and I think that's how people should check it out. Because one, you can decide you hate Charlie so much you want nothing to do with it. Or you can be like, hey, I actually really liked it. So maybe a physical copy could be nice to have on hand, because that's definitely where I'm sitting. So that's my final thought.
There is lots of content coming up next week. We've got a comic books as movies panel royale coming out next week, where it'll be me and at least a couple other people talking about comic book movies. Cinema?
Yeah.
Cinema.
And then we've got a interview with David Byrne. We've got a Girls Talk Comics of
Martian Ghost Centaur.
Yep.
There you go.
I didn't know the proper order of those names, and
I had to pause to remember.
And then we have a Man Among Ye review.
A Man Among Ye review on Friday. Yeah,
remember that one on Friday. So yeah, check out all the things. We got another full week.
Yeah,
coming up.
What's the Twitter they can follow?
4, the number, everyone, the number, media.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
Vern, I got the Venom shirt at Walmart, so
it's in the description as well.
And that also that. Sorry.
Also, Crowded is a image book, and you should be able to read number 1 for free on their website if you don't have Hoopla.
And the volume 1 is like $12.99 because it's a volume 1 image, so it's also hella cheap. Yeah. If you end up liking that first free one, grab it, which is also in the description for volume 1.
I like how accessible comics can be a lot of times, where it's like, you know, you can spend lots of money, but you can also
just enjoy them.
Not let it wave over you.
You can also don't tell my wife, but you can also not.
It's definitely an expensive hobby.
No.
You can't do it for cheap. No way.
No.
It's
not Warhammer, but it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Amazing. When you go to expensive hobbies, the first thing is Warhammer.
I like Cheap Hammer or whatever it is. Broke Hammer.
Yeah.
Yes, this Bud Light can is my tank.
Here's a celery stalk that I cut the end off of.
Oh, nice. I do like this shirt a lot. It's comfy. It's a good shirt.
Oh, it's comfy.
I wore it to my friend's birthday party where he wanted us to cosplay as characters. And so I grabbed my Harley Davidson jacket and I just went in as Eddie Brock wearing this jeans and a pair of boots.
Amazing. I thought you were going to cosplay as somebody who cared about cape books.
Well, I mean, close. I just went with Eddie Brock where I was already going to be like a little weird. There wasn't a lobster thing to like crawl into, but it was at a church. And so that's already an uncomfortable situation. So it was pretty close. Yeah. Pretty close. Yeah.
I like the idea of like a lazy cosplay list of things. Like if you want to cosplay but you don't want to like go all out, like just wear a leather jacket and be Eddie Brock. Or
you're all set.
Yeah.
You're the Fonz.
Got brown hair.
Just say you're a superhero out of costume. Like, oh yeah, I'm Spider-Man. Yes. But like it's just my day off. Yeah.
Oh,
I do love get the backpack, you have the camera, and then you have like the costume just sticking out the backpack a little bit because you're Peter Parker.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
It's a good lazy but like fun cosplay.
Yeah.
One year, I wore a black shirt and some tan shorts and had a Darth Vader backpack, and I just said I was Luke Skywalker who couldn't get my dad off my back. It was just
amazing.
It is like Sith stage, you know. So
amazing. That's great. That's awesome.
So that was my lazy cosplay that one year.
Nice.
Nobody got it. It's fine.
That's okay. It's good though.
We got it. We would have gotten it.
Yeah, we would have gotten it for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I should probably not be here.
Yep. All right.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Jamie, do you want to sing us out?
No,
so to speak?
I do not.
No,
but
so to speak.
So to speak. I was just gonna say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.